there. So a couple of people have asked me in the last few days in Messenger, could I type in what we do in our act rather than hopping onto the phone. But to be honest with you, it would take me forever to type in what actually happens, and it's also impossible to describe atmosphere. So for those of you who can't get on the phone, I'm going to try and describe it in video. This is stuff we don't show online, and I'm only going to give you a couple of samples just to give you an idea. Basically, a team of 3 will arrive down before your wedding meal. We have a sound engineer, one waitress and one manageress. The sound engineer does all the manual work. He sets up the equipment beforehand, and then he'll run the music for the main part of the act. But the girls then will serve all during your dinner, right? We'll have a waitress who's not so good, and we have a very, very good manageress. And for the first couple of courses, they won't really be doing much. They just be going around to the tables, kind of sussing which tables are the best crack. And where can they knock the most out of. And then we'll say, just a small example, by the time they've sussed this out, they'll be going around and the waitress will be kind of going, hey, anybody here want a glass of wine? And when 3 people lift up their glass, she'll walk away. And they'll all be left there kind of going, but the manageress will be very shortly after her, and she'll send her back, listen, they're waiting for wine. You know, and all we're doing really is planting character, because we really, really want to surprise your guests. And the idea is here, they will believe, and I promise you, they will believe the girls work in the hotel. That's the whole idea. Just things like that, are going around even, she's just not great, and she'll be going around like with brown bread during dessert. Do you know, this kind of, and they'll be looking at her going, what is going on? But nothing too obvious again, because it's all about surprise. So then the main part of the act then would actually kick off. We noticed ourselves, it's always when desserts are landed, people and the servers disappear, the real servers, that people start sneaking off smoking upstairs for a nap, or the front bar, which is impossible to move them out of. Witnessed this at millions of weddings. So our manager will come out, and she'll be, as the last dessert's put on the table, good evening ladies and gentlemen, now my name is Kate, and I'm going to ask you all to be upstanding, and we're going to raise a glass for the bride, and bang, the waitress falls over. Okay, sometimes tray of spoons to make a crash, sometimes the top of a cake. This is kind of things we discuss with you and see what you would prefer to happen. The reaction in the room is always the lads are, "Right!" It's like breaking a glass in a bar. This is how the lads, picture your own lads, and the girls will be like, stop, the poor thing, oh my god. The manageress is not happy, because she's now being interrupted in the middle of her speech. So instead of being all, oh, are you okay? She's, oh, for God's sake, I'm so sorry about her, folks. This is very embarrassing. I apologise. And then your guests are kind of left going, oh my god. But the manageress instead now will go, sorry about her. Now please raise your glass for Kate and John. Now the whole idea of what happens here is the manageress gets the names wrong. So the whole room have gone from laughing and feeling sorry for this girl on the floor to looking at the manageress going, oh my god. Sometimes we'll use a bridesmaid's name or a mom's name or whatever name. Again, this is down to ye. We'll ask you to give us the names that would cause people to cringe a little bit, okay? Promise, it's the funniest thing. The whole room, again, react exactly like we want them to, and they'll be like shouting up the names. It's not, it's Debbie and Joseph or whatever your name will be, you know. It's priceless. And the manageress, instead, she just goes, oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. I was afraid something like this was going to happen. And she jumps on a chair and goes, at first I was afraid. I was petrified. And then the waitress jumps up off the floor on a chair beside her, sings the next 2 lines, and your guests' faces will just drop, because they realise that these 2 have been going around all day serving them. It's like, oh my god, we've been had all day. And guys, it's absolutely priceless. That's why I'm saying this would be just too hard to describe in Messenger. It just wouldn't come across in any way. Of course, if you have any other questions or you wanted to ask me about that, please hop on the phone, because I can explain even more in detail. But we do have jokes in between every song. It's a very high energy act. Get them up on their feet, dancing, clapping, singing, maybe on the chairs. And we also have a game or two as well, like the shoe game, the Mr. and Mrs. game. And we ask questions of you, but actually we get your guests to answer, because it gets them more involved. So things like, who's the most fun? Who's the better driver? You know, who spends the most money? And listen, your guests will hang you. They will actually love to get involved, and they will hang you if they get the chance. But it's really, really funny. And it's just getting people involved and crowd interaction. And again, the main thing for us is surprise. it's just surprised them and they don't expect it, and it's something different as well. So guys, we have different packages band wise. We have waiters. We can provide 2 waiters, a band and DJ, or 2 waiters and a DJ, or whatever, you know, you're interested in. This would be best discussed, to be honest with you, on the phone, just because it'd be nice to know what you're actually looking for and what you're most interested in. But average price, singing waiters, usually a group of 3 going out, sound engineer and 2 waiters, you'll be coming in around the 1,200, 1,300.